Hello, tubers and tubettes. My name is David and I live in Northern California, and I love California. Well, today is Saturday. I didn't have to work, so I slept in a little bit. I got to go work out later before I get my day started, but it's great. I don't have any appointments today or tomorrow. I got church tomorrow. And out of the blue, I got a call on Thursday night, and one of my appointments I had decided he wanted to get signed up. So by the time we got through everything, it turned out to be a $105,000 pool. So that was really good. And you know, from the time I gave him the estimate, it was like February 11th, and then they called me on Thursday. So that's kind of a long wait on it. But they were having other bids with other people, and so it was nice. At the end of the sign up, I always ask them if they would mind telling me why they decided to go with our company. And it's nice to hear them say, the time that I spent with them and the answers that I gave them. And the guy's a police officer, so I think they're really good at questioning. He had a lot of questions. And I try to stay always consistent, and I never lie, so definitely would not lie to sell a pool. So it was nice to hear all of that, and the way I hand drew it. And there was an issue as to how we're going to access this deep end of the pool to get the pool put in. So the other company was just rigid. One of the companies was just rigid that it had to be a certain amount, like something like 15 feet away from the house. And I don't even know why they said that, because there's no reason. We build these pools 5 feet away from the house is the minimum code. But they just would not get on it. And I see that happening sometimes. I'm not that way, but sometimes you can get stuck where you say something and then you just feel like you have to, drill down on that, and or double down, they call it. But with me, I think part of it is because I'm Japanese American. I'm very non-argumentative. I go, you can do whatever you want to. But here's the pros and here's the cons. And if they hear the pros and the cons and they still want to do it, it's their pool. I tell them up front what the minimum setbacks are, so it's not like I can say you can't put it 5 feet when I just told you that's the minimum setback off of a house. So that's what happened last night. Signed up. It was started at 6, and I got them signed up, and it took me till 9:30. So that was a long sign up, but I had a lot of questions, and I had to go through a lot of. It started out like $60,000 pool, then they want to add a jacuzzi, then they want to upgrade the surface of the pool to a pebble sheen. So these are things that they just kept adding into it. So I'll probably be working on that sometime during the weekend, or maybe Monday morning. And I have another one that I have to go back to on Monday, and it's not a crazy pool, but I just needed to have some time to let it gel in my mind, because I know what she wants. And I came up with some crazy ideas just in my sleep, and I know, and they're not going to be expensive, and I think she's going to like it. So one of the things she was talking about was to make an area where she could have a bridge, go between a koi pond and the swimming pool. And I told her the koi pond's going to cost you about $10,000 to $15,000. It's got a filter system. It's going to have to put lights. It has to be sealed. It has to be made out of gunite. There's a lot of issues on a koi pond. Maybe it would be less, but I always try to give them a ballpark. Anyway, she had talked to her husband, and they already decided they didn't want that. And I know she really liked that bridge idea, so I'm thinking about creating an area in the back corner where it might be the same size as the spa, an 8-foot diameter circle. And then they would have a trench around it with river cobble inside the trench. And then we would take the same concrete that we're using to pour everywhere else and create a bridge. And the way we do it is we build a mound of dirt there to get the underside of the arc. And then we put footers in at both sides of the bridge, and then we put rebar in it. Typically try to pour it 6 inches thick, so you have coverage over the rebar underneath it and above it. And then as we're doing the stamped concrete there, we just pour that concrete in and create that bridge. So I'm gonna put that into my design. Initially I had 2 bridges going to a barbecue area, but I started thinking that's not very safe because you're carrying things and you're going back and forth. You know, it's easy to trip over it. If it was made more like a decorative area where she could decorate it with some of her ideas, then I think that would be pretty cool. The craziest thing about this whole appointment was when I saw her, I recognized her because she's about 4'10" and she's a little Chinese lady. And we both were like amazed because the last time I sold a pool to her was 25 years ago. So, you know, I was a lot younger. She was super young. And her husband at the time, he looked like Bruce Lee because he was so built, you know, physically built. But apparently she was telling me that while they were married, he went over to Cambodia and I guess got all enthralled with women over there or whatever. And he ended up actually marrying somebody while he was still married to her over here. So that, you know, they ended up not staying together. And now her new husband is a white guy, an older guy. And he's super nice, super nice. Just, you can't even, he just lets her do whatever she wants to do. And their house is just stunning. So she went from kind of a, you know, moderate life, you know, to this life that is just crazy. Their house is stunning, 4,500 square feet, you know, just, she has a lot of the stuff. And I remember the Chinese vases. She said, oh no, I got all the stuff. You know, she got all of her Chinese stuff that she had been collecting over the years that were in her little house. Now they're in this big house. One of the things she has is probably a 4-foot tall Chinese vases. And they're probably, I would say 18 inches across. She has 2 of them. And what I'm thinking is I'd seen this at a hotel in Kauai, you know, Kauai, yeah. And it was at this hotel where they had a shallow area. And I'm talking, it was pretty shallow. In her case, I'm going to say probably 5 to 6 inches. And they had vases where they had silicone to stand onto the bottom of it, a clear stand. And so then the vases were filled probably with sand, something to hold them down. But they were the acrylic base that goes underneath it, silicone to the bottom of the vase, is enough that it will be slightly above the water, just slightly, like a 1/4 of an inch. Then you fill it with sand so that it doesn't move all over the place because you don't want to adhere it to the plaster. And then she'll have a waterfall on the other side of the pool, and what will look like is 2 vases on both sides of them. So she'll have to go find 2 more vases, and the 2 vases on the side of them will be sitting in a shelf that's only 6 inches of water, and it will look like the vases are floating on top of the water. I think she's going to freak out when she sees that idea, and it really doesn't cost that much to do it. It's just a little bit of, you know, finding the vase, you know, acrylicing the bottom, the space onto the bottom of a pot. The other thing we wanted to do is they have a fish that looks like it's jumping out of the water. You can buy these. I have one actually. I have a big one. It's probably 3 foot by 3 foot by 2 foot, made out of clay. I got it from an architectural place. When I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I love that thing. And so I told my wife, I don't care what you want inside here, because we were looking for stuff for her, but I go, I want that. So it was my birthday and she got it for me. And I still have it at my house. So it's a fish that's jumping out of the water, and it's considered good luck in China and also in Japan. So I've seen some that are done in brass, but they're made of a material that's more like I think like a PVC type of material that has a brass look to it. And where she has a spillway coming out of her coming into her spa, there'll be a little beam fall, we call it. There'll be a flat rock in front of it, and I think that fish can be sat onto that flat rock. And that actually made me think, I think I'm going to do that to my own, because I have a little flat rock there, and I could find a little flipping fish and put it right there. I think that would be really cool. Then in that last idea with the bridge, that would be an 8-foot diameter to mimic the 8-foot diameter spa that we're putting at one end of the pool. That would be very far into the corner, you know, surrounded by bamboo. And then right in the center of it, there would be the bridge made out of the cement, all done in the same pour. Once you put the bridge in there, then you take the plywood out from underneath it. You take the dirt out from underneath it. You have a trench that goes all the way across it, and you create with river cobble a dry creek bed. So I think she's gonna like that too, and that's my idea on that. So, you know, there's a real good chance that I'll be able to do the pool, just because I have this relationship with her. I actually did 25 years ago, I did a pool for her, but I also did another pool for her before that. So 2 pools that I've done. She recognized me as soon as she saw me, and but she was wondering, like, oh my God, is he still alive? Is he still doing pools? And I go, nope, I'm still doing it. So she had other estimates that she was going to get, but she canceled them all because she wants to go with us. So when I talked to her husband, I know her husband was acting like he's kind of cheap, you know, 60, 70,000. I said, yeah, you could get a pool for that, but nothing else. You know, that would be like a basic pool, and wouldn't even include excavation because they're in a tough area, Rockland, which is very tough, a lot of rocks. So I said, yeah, you know, he wanted a ballpark or whatever. So I just said, yeah, you're looking at about 120 to 150, you know, for what your wife is looking for. And he goes, oh, okay, I was just joking about the other thing. I go, okay, well, I'm going to try to get you the lowest price that I can. You know, I'm kind of like in retirement mode, so however low I can get it, I'm going to get it for you. And so he felt very comfortable about it. And a super nice guy, and they're freaking rich. So I've got we don't gouge. We give them the best price that we can give them. And because she's coming back, she'll be able to get the biggest discount that I'm allowed to, which I'm not going to mess around with, you know, trying not to discount it all the way down. I'm going to try to get it down as low as we can so we can do the pool. So anyway, I wanted to tell you guys about that and let you know that that's what I'm up against. That's what's happened the last week. So now I'm up to 7 pools. I have 23 more to do. So my goal is to get 30 pools this year, and I have 23 more to sell, and I've sold 7. And it's turning out to be a better year, but we had that big stock market crash, and my wife and I, my wife keeps walking around telling everybody how much we lost, which we did. I mean, it went down, but she knows how I feel too. We haven't lost anything unless you sell, and I don't plan on selling it. In fact, I bet you the money that we have in there, which is quite a bit, will probably go to our kids, because the goal is not to touch any of our retirement account, and I just don't see that we will. We're not going to move anywhere. We're staying in California. We're staying in our house that I've been in for 20 years, and I'm going to continue to work as long as I can, because I really love working. I really love the design aspect of it and seeing it come together. I did take some videos of the dig that we had, and that was in a couple minutes from my house, and the homeowner wasn't there. He had actually gone maybe hunting or something for the weekend. So I took a bunch of videos, and I'm going to send it to him so he'll be able to see the tractor, you know, digging, and you'll be able to see it too, because I took 3 videos, one in the morning when they started, one in the afternoon when they were kind of like midway, and then after they were cleaning it up, I was over there in the evening, and I was able to take 3 videos with some narration on it. So I'm going to put that together for California Pool Designer. So thank you very much for finding me, and that's what's happened at the end of my week. And so now I'm already 1 in for this month, April, and like to get a couple more. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you very much for finding me, and have a great day.